So we just came off an election in which the losers of the election have been consistently blaming the results of it on a series of right wing Twitter trolls. I find that so interesting out there because I've never really ran across a real right wing Twitter troll. I mean, I do a fair amount of trolling on mine, but my Twitter handle has my name in it. When you're actually talking about a true Twitter troll, you're talking about somebody who's hiding behind a fake name, a fake handle, and completely anonymous so they can't be traced and they can't have their social media activity traced back to their jobs if they even have one. I'm talking about this today because I want to take some time and talk about an encounter I had last Sunday while I was on Twitter myself. When I ran across one of these left-wing Twitter trolls, and I decided to actually engage the guy, and he fell right into what I was doing. In the interest of fairness, as I go through and I display the tweets on there, and in spite of the fact that this particular user has a Twitter handle that's completely anonymous, as well as his name and his profile picture, I will be blanking out the Twitter handle just because even though he did openly engage me and he decided that he wanted to call me out, he didn't really consent to being put on film. So I'll keep the personal, and I say that in quotes, information away from being out there. It all started kind of innocuously when I was doing some trolling of my own. I follow some of the people on the left that feel like it's not advantageous to just be in an echo chamber out there. So when the official Twitter page of the Democrats went out and posted a pledge to vote, I couldn't help myself but commenting back that I did pledge to vote, but I wasn't going to be voting for anybody on their ticket. And it just kind of went away from there. I kind of figured I'd be blocked by them, but it doesn't seem like that's happened at this point. Now, my tweet got a couple of likes and got a little bit of traction there, and that's all well and good. I got some new views on some of my videos, so that was always a positive for me. But when I looked back at the tweet after I saw the likes, I noticed that there was a comment sitting there, and it must have got caught in the quality filter because the user has Donald Trump in his name. So, I mean, of course it's got to be a problem and possibly shadow banned, I'm not sure. And out of curiosity, and because my page is supposed to be a free speech zone, I decided I'd have a look at it. Twitter user Donald Trump is a white supremacist and so are you decided to go out and screen cap a month-old tweet of mine. And I've been tweeting quite often, so he was scrolling for a while to go and find this, by the way. He decided that he needed to go and find my tweet where I talked about how excited I get when Sarah Sanders kicks Jim Acosta around during the White House press briefings. My exact words were, I get a half a chub whenever I see that happening, and he decided to inform me that nobody cares about my penis. Well, first off, he's wrong. I obviously care very deeply about my penis. It's mine. Nobody else should care about it. Well, maybe a couple people, one for sure, but definitely I care about it. I thought about letting it go and just rolling off my back, but I thought it would be more fun to let everyone else know that I do care very deeply about it. So I retweeted the tweet and let the world know that in the fact that I chose not to vote for Democrats, this particular user decided that he needed to bring up a tweet from a month ago and use it to insult me because he couldn't counter me with anything else. Then he decided to accept that challenge. And I got a few other replies. Just basic little gifs and innocuous crap for the most part. After digging through my replies, the Twitter user Donald Trump is a white supremacist let me know that after I mentioned the fact that the TV producers can't come up with an original idea and that's why they're remaking Thomas the Tank Engine for the third time, that I should myself come up with an original idea and not be some sort of hack journalist or commenter because Fox News will never hire me. And after such a lengthy introduction, that's what I do want to sit down and talk about briefly today. I want to talk about the intent of the majority of the people that are in the alt media and why so many people on the left believe that all of us are going out there and looking for our handouts and jobs from Fox News. Joining a mainstream media firm seems to be something that has been brought up to almost every single YouTuber out there by one or more of his fans, or in my case, one of my detractors. And a few years ago, that might have seemed like the ultimate goal for anybody going out and being independent. Any person out there in the era where YouTube wouldn't allow you to post more than 10 minutes at a time, making videos like this would seem more like a resume of sorts than actually any sort of independent content or any major channel with any sort of major following out there. But times have changed, and it seems like the majority of people out there in the Democrat side of the aisle aren't really realizing that. There are some YouTubers out there who say that they won't go and join the mainstream media or any big firm for any price. And some of them out there I genuinely believe that from, especially with the way that many of them talk down about the mainstream media. But for the most part, I think all of us who do independent commentary have a price. It's just that some of ours are higher than others. I can't say that I wouldn't join Fox News if the job was offered to me. What I can say about it is this: if they were to come and see my stuff and decide that they wanted me to be on their channel as a regular host and a regular hire, they would have to pay me a lot of money. And I'm not talking like a lot of money like most people who make the kind of wage that I make considered to be a lot of money. I am talking about a lot of money. I would almost guarantee that if they were to make my price, I would be one of the highest paid people on their channel. And I don't necessarily see the executives at Fox making that kind of investment into an entry-level journalist who doesn't have a college degree. I'm going to put that right out there. They might match what I'm making now, but they're not going to get me for that price, especially if I have to go live in New York. Hell no. And there are a few reasons, of course, why I think that they would have to pay me a lot of money to get me to come onto their channel. And I can sum up one of the main reasons in one word. Fuck. Most people who've watched more than one of my videos knows that for the most part I try to refrain from using obscenities on my channel. But the reality that comes with having an independent YouTube channel and being able to do your own commentary, and of course with being self-producing as well, is the fact that you don't have to. I self-censor on my channel, but I don't have the FCC breathing down my neck to force me to censor otherwise. This is a true free speech zone, and it's a courtesy that I can extend to anybody who I have on my show as a guest as well. I know the one guest that I've had up to this point has also chosen to self-censor, and when we were talking in the Hangout before we went live, she did say some of the other things that she avoided saying on the air. But for the most part, if you're on my show and we're interviewing and you slip, or if I'm putting my show out regularly and I slip and I say something, I don't have to worry about a big fine from the FCC or being taken off the air or anything else. I talked a little bit about this same phenomenon when I talked about Ron DeSantis on Thursday. I still firmly believe the fact that the reason that he said monkey it up and caused all this controversy is that he was quickly trying to find a way to not say fuck it up while he was on the air, and he just happened to choose a word that was at a stretch able to be construed as a racial slur because his opponent is black, and for no other reason than that. And I think about this every now and then. If this channel ever does take off and I get the viewership that some of my peers are getting, whether by just having a video go viral or getting on other people's shows and being able to promote in a different way, then there is going to be a good chance that somewhere out there I do get offered a job from Fox or CRTV or Daily Wire or anybody else that's in that sort of realm, and the offer is the same for all of them. This is a duct tape production, but this is a duct tape production where I get to make the choices and I get to choose what I talk about. Nobody stops me and tells me what it is that I have to talk about, and I get to cover some of the stories, such as the accountability in capitalism bill that slipped through the cracks because nobody else is allowed to talk about them via their producers. In order to change that, you would have to pay me a lot of money, an exorbitant sum of money. And especially if I were to go to one of the other two that I mentioned, CRTV or Daily Wire. Part of the problem that I have with the other big internet firms is the fact that a lot of their content hides behind a paywall, especially on the video side. Daily Wire is good about leaving all their content out on the audio side for people to sit and discuss and talk about. But CRTV has a lot of its content sitting and hiding behind the Mug Club. And I don't want it to be there. I don't want people to have to pay to see things and be able to discuss them. That's a part of the reason that I do this as well. And part of the reason that I've been trying to keep my videos shorter as I've been going along. Paywalls make it harder to share and harder to discuss. And that's something that I don't want. I started this channel because I wanted to start the discussion. I want both the left and the right to be able to discuss freely, to criticize, compliment, and discuss topics that they wouldn't normally discuss, and use my videos as a launching point if they see fit. If you're going to take that away from me and make a paywall and make it so that I can't do that anymore, you are going to have to make sure, for damn sure, that I never have to worry about bills or money again. And that's the way that stands. As far as my anonymous detractor goes, I do take some time and thank you for the experience and thank you for the ability to discuss my ideas and use the experience as a jumping off point so I can make this episode and tell the people of the world exactly how I feel about the big media firms. You may hate me, but I am in your debt for now for this little bit of jumping off point for an episode. What do you think about the mainstream media, and what do you think about the mainstream media going out and hiring people from the alt media? I always welcome a thoughtful and positive discussion in the comment section below, and especially over on Twitter. That is at EdsBlogTwitter with a 1 in place of the I. Thanks as always for listening to this show and supporting this channel. And remember, never take the words of bloggers, podcasters, or journalists as gospel. Find all the facts and draw your own conclusions.
You're